The constant effect by the hormones of stress downregulate genes and create disease. And if you can turn on that stress response just by thinking about your problems, then your thoughts are literally going to make you sick. So if your thoughts can make you sick, can your thoughts make you well? You cannot begin to see changes in a person's health until they stop regulating the same genes the same way, and they start upregulating new genes and downregulating old genes. And if they do that, they start producing different enzymes and different chemicals and different hormones, and their body begins to scale in a different direction. All you need is that first person that stands on the stage and says, hey, I walked in here with Parkinson's disease. I have no idea what happened, but I'm not trembling anymore. And boy, that last thing, just something clicked for me. And the person in the audience was watching the 4-minute mile right in front of them and going, wow, that guy looks like he's not a vegan. He doesn't look like he's particularly in shape, but his Parkinson's went away. And wow, I mean, if he could do it, I could do it. And somebody else changes their belief. And now that's a footprint in consciousness. Get enough people doing that. When we're truly present and we are in the moment and we're in the visualizing process, the brain does not know the difference between the real life experience and what the person is imagining. Now, experience enriches brain circuitry. And the problem is that when we're facing a health condition or a crisis, we always tend to focus on what we don't want to have happen instead of what we do want to have happen, because the arousal of the stress hormones prepares us for the worst, right? So teaching yourself to stay present and not go to the worst case scenario is being present. And someone who can carry a thought for that long and go through the process of interacting with the kidney, the brain doesn't know the difference between whether it's real or not if you don't break from it and start thinking about, am I going to be on dialysis the rest of my life? And if it's one long moment, experience enriches circuitry in the brain. So the brain looks like, over time, that the experience has already happened. You start to install the neurological hardware ahead of the event. Now, if you keep doing it, the hardware becomes a software program, and it becomes easier to do it the next time, because now you're creating circuitry. And what is mind? Mind is the brain in action. So you're installing a new mind. That people can heal that quickly in 1 week. Yeah, because what if they create an inner event that carries an amplitude of gratitude or joy or freedom? Break through from the chains of the past. When the body is liberated and you feel that elevated emotion, the stronger the emotion you feel from that breakthrough, the more you're going to pay attention to the image in your mind. And now you're beginning to brand new circuitry in the brain, and your body's being conditioned into a new future. And the stronger the emotion you feel, the more you pay attention to the picture, the more you're conditioning the body over time to the future instead of the past. So now you keep knocking on that genetic door emotionally, then that emotion ultimately signals a new gene that upregulates that gene to produce better proteins, and the person then all of a sudden starts healing. And we have research to show that people can do that in 4 days. Signal genes to reduce cancer cells and
wow.
Just to signal stem cells to suppress to go to active tissues and repair them and regenerate them and suppress inflammation. We have research to show that you could change the number of brain cells you have just by doing this properly. And well, you come with a lot of genes, and they're just a library of potentials. They're just a storehouse of information, of possibilities. So then you got to get the right signal, the right lock into the key that begins to select and instruct genes that cause genes to make different proteins. And you can regulate so many different genes, the same genes, you can regulate them differently. So when they upregulate, they start producing really healthy and robust proteins. And that's enzymes, that's tissue, that's structure, that's function, that's hormones. It's immunoglobulins. When they downregulate because of some alarm, when there's not a lot of energy for long-term building projects, well, then you keep doing that, then the body starts producing cheaper proteins. It's a different signal. It's not a time for growth.